Okay, shear walls. This video is specifically for those of you who don't understand what shear walls are and are unfamiliar. I'm not going to get too technical like a lot of these videos and contractors do and just confuse everybody. It's going to be pretty simple, straightforward. So as you can see, this is an existing structure. It's a garage that's going to be converted into an ADU. So now we're going to be talking about hold downs, which I did in the last video. But as you can see in this foundation plan, you have two hold downs, one on each corner of the wall, right? Here's another wall, and this wall in particular, which separates the residence and the existing garage, doesn't show here on the foundation plan, but it will show on the framing plan. And this little triangle is what you want to pay attention to. And if you recall on the foundation plan, this was the wall that had the hold downs, and now this is dictating and letting you know that this is a shear wall, and this is the detail. L is obviously the length of this particular wall, and this is the wall I was speaking about, the one that separates the primary residence to the garage. And this one here is going to be a length of 16 feet, as you can see, and it's also a detail number one. This one is about 8.5 feet, and our final one is just shy of 10 feet. So basically you're having a shear wall on each side of the structure per se. And now when it comes to the details, this is where it kind of gets really technical. But as you can see, this is a page S2, and we're looking at the shear wall schedule. And you remember those triangles I was telling you to pay attention to? So this is the number one, and there's various types of shear walls, and they can get very technical, obviously 5 being the most technical. So we're at the most lenient as far as technicalities. Excuse me. So we're going to go over the sheathing material, which is your plywood. Now this is specifying 1/2-inch plywood, which is a structural 1 grade, your average typical. Now the panel nailing, this here is what you really have to pay attention to. 9 out of 10 times you fail inspection because this is incorrect. So now the perimeter, you're going to be using 10D nails, not specifying at 6 inches on center. So remember, this is a perimeter, and here it shows you a detail of 2 shears. Okay, so this is one plywood, this is half of another, this is another full sheet, and another half. And this is the way they have to be installed in order to pass inspection as well, to interlock. But right now what we're on is the nailing. So we're at 6 inches on center, which means throughout the whole perimeter you're nailing every 6 inches. And like I said, it can get very technical, so make sure that you don't pass those 6 inches. Anything less is okay, you shouldn't have an issue. But anything more, you're gonna have some problems. Now the field, when it specifies the field, what we're talking about is in between the shears, which are these sticks, your 2x4 studs. All right, and what they're requiring is 12 inches on center. So keep in mind, perimeter 6 and your field is 12. And like I said, look, in number 5 shear wall, look at what it's asking for, 2 inches on center, and then your field still stays at 12. But so the more nailing, the stronger the wall, basically. So for our number one, we're going on anchor bolts now, 5/8 diameter at every 32 inches on center. So your anchor bolts, they want them, these are your anchor bolts here, that's a hold down, this is your anchor bolts, they want them 32 inches on center, okay? And the depth embedment would be 9 inches, which is obviously the embedment here. This is your foundation, and the embedment will be 9 inches. Then it starts going into your 2x4, your sill plates. Deputy inspection, doesn't ask for any deputy inspection. And for the most part, now another thing I really do want to point out is if you're very unfamiliar with any other details, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's a lot of information, but it specifies every single detail. Okay, top plates, double plates, I mean, you name it, it's all here. It also includes another detail that's very important, is allowable penetration into your shear wall. So now this is your 2x4 double top plate, so it's only allowing you 3.5 inches of penetration, all right, at 1.5 inches max. And then when you're boring any holes, it's only allowing you 1.25 max to bore a hole through this wall. So it can get very technical when it comes to inspection, especially when it comes to the framing. So you got to be very familiar and just go over every single detail. Or if you hire somebody, a framer, just make sure you're on top of them and you know, make sure all the corrections are made. Either way, before inspection, there is an inspector who comes out as a pre-inspection, and that's paid as a private inspector that the city also requires you to do. So just another couple of things to look out for. So hopefully that helped you guys. Till the next one.